together. I have this deck together, which is mono white artifact mid-range deck with Combat Thresher, and then you get Solitude into the deck because now you have 16 good cards to Ephemerate, and you have Voyager Staff as a tutorable Urza Saga card that can flicker a permanent, which is actually really sweet. And then you also have the mono white Rex Sage on the sideboard in your flicker deck. I'm actually like really like nerdy and happy about this card. Like for the longest time, like I just wanted there to be a mono white Reclamation Sage instead of one that kills artifacts or enchantments. I've wanted something that kills both for the longest time. Sorry for yelling. I caught myself.
That's good.
Someone asked me to be a yelling content creator, and I look at Lucy.
Look at Lucy. She wants so many belly rubs lately.
I know.
Like,
You're a sweet girl.
Belly rubs.
Yeah, the Thresher.
Belly rubs, yes.
I was looking at the Thresher in like Heliod, and you can like put counters on it with Idyllic Range. Probably a little dopey.
I did good. It was literally.
Yeah, I knew you'd do good.
It was like.
Yeah, did good, kid.
Like I told you, like it would be like creating a report. It was literally just writing an executive summary for the report. So I was like, yeah. Which is good because now looking back on it, like I realized that if I would have done this before having this job, I wouldn't have done so well. I definitely feel like I'm way confident in my skills and doing it.
Good. I'm very happy for you, baby.
Yeah. Thank you.
I had complete confidence in you as well. Oh, we bricked on the Smith. It's okay, I guess. We just did a deck tech for my opponent's deck too, so we can know what a Needle Karn, I think. I did hear they fixed face shields, yeah. April, thank you for 12 months. Appreciate you.
What if you're a brunette?
No.
You're too pale.
So their top card is Scalding Tarn. So I guess if I Needle Scalding Tarn, they just Codex Shredder themselves. So maybe I Needle the Shredder.
Hello. Hi. This is my stream.
Sweetie, this is so difficult.
My stream. Scream out.
Okay, so I'm gonna Needle the Shredder. I'm gonna leave back the Sentinel to tap the Springleaf Drum. Baby, I've got earphones on. You're shoving them into my freaking brain.
I'm sorry. Can you? Oh, you want permanent earphones? I got you. Boop. Come on, Lucy. Come here.
Oh, man.
Girl.
Just shoving it right into my brain. Comes in, hair in the face, shoves the headphones right into my brain, leaves, no explanation. Boy, do I love that woman. How can we do a bridge? So what's funny is we have one thing I did a deck tech. They're not playing bridge, or I told them maybe play bridge, but we have mono white Reclamation Sage in the board. Make it Voyager Staff here. Let's see. I'm drawing Kaldra. I mean, main board. I'm probably just gonna lose to it. I mean, you're just like not really living in the. Wait, why would they? Oh, they're targeting themselves. We're not really living in a world where bridge is like common enough in main decks to like have an out to it game one. I think. I guess I'll just get second Springleaf Drum so I can play Combat Thresher so that the title of this YouTube video is not clickbait. Look, it's in the deck. We're gonna equip a Nettlecyst to it. Oh yeah, I saw some prototype cards last night. This is a bit gross, a bit ugly. mentioned have some ideas for Ponza. Anything come of it? We played like a mono green, like weird version. We'll probably play a more traditional version soon. All right, we get the Lorians in. Very excited to get to play with this card. Portable Hole seems really good. Gonna cut the Relic, gonna cut the Shadowspear, gonna bring in the extra copy of Pithing Needle. Gonna cut, I think, all the copies of Solitude. They are playing Urza. They are playing Urza. Some. We bring in the Crowbar. Do I have any other answers to Urza? Not really, so I guess we'll play a couple of copies of this. Can cut a Nettlecyst as we're bringing in the Crowbar. Relic and all draw cards I think are strong versus deck. So they're not traditional Lantern control. I did a deck for their deck. They're like Lantern control, but like they're playing like Urza, Emery, Iconoclast. They're just like a creature deck with the Lantern control package. So I'm not as worried about the Lantern control aspect as I usually would be. And I also have like lots of disenchant effects too. Let's keep this. We 5-0'd with the Iconoclast deck, and then we were 2-0 with it on Tuesday, so 7-0 overall. Doing a lot of winning in Modern. This tournament is Pioneer. Classic situation for me to be in. Point is, he loves to give me cards, huh? Probably have to Solitude that. Can't pitch the Combat Thresher. I think I might just pitch the Stoneforge Mystic. I want to save the Portable Hole for an Iconoclast or a Lantern of Insight, something that actually does something here. I mean, I could also not Ephemerate, but Ephemerate just, you know, it stops my opponent from playing something else next turn, and then I have Ephemerate, and I have the Solitude in play for the second Ephemerate, which feels really good. Could be worth it to have Lion Sash on the board. Lion Sash was my first ever preview card. I love Lion Sash. I have like literally the warmest, softest, safest place in my heart for Lion Sash. And as any disappointed father would be, I regret to tell you that Lion Sash is not a playable Modern card. I wish that wasn't the case. I love Lion Sash. I wish it was playable. It's not. Ooh, baby. You and each opponent draws a card. Not the most relevant line of text. It is on the card, though. Bless you, sweetie. Yeah, I see some playing Legacy, but like Legacy Death and Taxes is like, you know, it's like if Fantasy Land barely exists. Scraniel, Decky Techie, because of Lantern Insight, best card. Every post I can check, I can take a look. Isn't Skews played in Yawgmoth? Scavenging Ooze gains life, which is super relevant in Yawgmoth, and it's also green instead of white, which is, you know, relevant there as well. But listen, I want it to be playable more than you do. You know what I mean? Nobody wants to just copium it up and declare that Lion Sash is playable more than I do. I think that's Leech draw card. This was maybe not correct, huh? I wanted to draw a land so I could go Thresher plus Ephemerate. That's true. This is good against Ensnaring Bridge. Wow. Actually relevant, yeah. Actually relevant. I know I could get rid of both these aren't lanterns, these are shredders. I know I could get rid of both of them. The problem is like this card like literally is just blank right now. You know what I mean? All right, GG's. Which is good enough. Let's keep this. It's good in Angels. Ooh, that's kind of interesting, actually. It's just a card I overlooked, I guess. Yeah, that's the main thing to say, I guess. Okay, Burn should be a good matchup. I am going to hope to find a white source before I Solitude. I may not have that luxury, but I think I'll probably have that luxury. You know what? This Shadowspear is probably just going to win the game. Let's not take any more unnecessary damage. Just pivoting. Oh, maybe I have regrets. Maybe I have no regrets. We'll see. Sorcery speed is so bad. It kind of depends on what format you're playing, but maybe it is more of a pioneer card. But it is also true, like, while it's sorcery speed, it can also like just be, it can get you more than just 2 cards, which is pretty interesting. And it gets artifacts and creatures instead of just creatures. Best new deck on Pioneer is Urza, Mightstone, Fires, no cap. Could be right. As long as you're not capping. I think the only way you're making that white X card playable, Mara's got Flash off to Fairy. Sounds like a challenge. I don't know. Kind of feel like maybe I'm gonna save this so I can Solitude my own construct if they have Skullcrack. I think maybe y'all are. I don't know. I think it's fringe playable for sure, but you can resolve spells in Modern sometimes. Error 2 months ago. Thank you. You never resolved a 5-drop in Modern. Zach Allen Karn for a Mightstone against me, then flickered it with Yorion. Gross. Really gross. Alright. I guess I could have equipped. This matchup looks insane. This matchup looks probably really good. It'll get worse post board. They'll have, you know, disenchant effects and stuff. And I want to cut my Needle and my Relic. And I can play a Loran. I can play Feast and Famine. Keep this. I think just Solitude plus Urza Saga is kind of hard to mulligan. Well, I wish you could pitch Combat Thresher. Era, I think I thanked you for your 2-month resub, but thank you for your 2-month resub again. I'm kind of losing it today. Did I change my tournament deck? I think I'm changing back. So my plan is to have both decks ready. And and start with the deck that I had been playing a lot of and just kind of try to evaluate and see from there. Go from there. I don't know what I'm getting. I guess the Shadowspear. I'm playing Saheeli Cat with the Ephemerate package. Would Loran be better than Wear Tear? Probably, yeah. Okay. Thank you for summoning Wear Tear to my opponent's hand. Yeah, but like I was talking to a friend of mine who's better at Magic than most friends of mine, and And I think that last night I got pretty bad, you know, tournament jitters, tournament anxiety, whatever. And I've spent like the last 2 or 3 weeks testing a deck. I've had really good results with it. I've got a lot of experience with it. I had a bad night where I played against like my two worst matchups like over and over again, and they're two matchups that I'm not really expecting to be very popular in the LCQs of Atlanta either. And because of that, I'm gonna just try to not freak out, and I'm gonna try to just, you know, do what's been working and not pivot at the last second. That being said, I did buy the cards for the other deck, so we'll have them ready to go. Which stinks because I just ended up wasting like my entire evening last night. But maybe I also was able to learn some lessons last night too. Did to a burn spell, I think. I mean, maybe I'm blocking. No, I did do a burn spell even if I block, so there's just no point. Yeah. I would choose the better deck in my opinion. Well, that's the thing. Like I started to pivot decks under Doomwake's saying, Spike, this deck's nuts. It's so good. Doomwake's also been winning a lot with it. I'm not trying to refute that, but I also was like, I was probably like 3-6 with the deck. So it's not like I just had a bad night overall, but it's not like this other deck is secretly busted and I'm just like trying to stay the course. I was also not having success with Doomwake's secret deck. What if I'm gonna block an Ephemerate? Felden? 2/2 haste, dealt damage. Cast those cards still in the turn. This card is pretty good. Didn't think I'd see it in Modern though. I think I will just go ahead and gain 2. That's very cool though. I wish I had that Ephemerate. Not the end of the world, I guess. Goblin Guide. I mean, this construct is not living, I imagine. Incredible curve for my opponent, though. For... Oh, hold on. I could draw a white card in Solitude. For Goblin Guide into 2-drop into lands with Spear, smash the Smithereens. Tough stuff for sure. Gonna take 6. Gonna take 6 and then see what we draw. Stoneforge Mystic. So I can go equip Shadowspear to Esper Sentinel, attack with Esper Sentinel. Potentially attack with Esper Sentinel. The problem, I didn't bring in the Crowbar. If I had Crowbar, I would like pretty easily just grab Crowbar to pitch to Solitude. 3 cards in our opponent's hand. Was I supposed to get Felden Kane? Maybe I was supposed to get Kane and pitch. Yeah, Voyager Staff, rather, sorry. Attack go to 9, block. Dead to 2. I think I'm just dead to 2 burn spells no matter what I do. Well, block here, block here. To 9. Yeah, I guess I'd be back to Sentinel. They're pretty likely to like let me draw a card off the Sentinel if I draw a white card. To draw a white card. Thank you, Goblin Guide. Solitude the Swift Spear. Go to 2. Opponent has 2 cards in their hand. We're, you know, pretty dead. don't think there's anything I can draw off the Thresher. I guess I can just draw Sentinel or Portable Hole. Yeah, yeah. Dead. Kind of awkward to have this trick just in play, but I think I do want to play it over the Shadowspear on turn 1. But just, you know, we won game 1 very handily, and then my opponent drew drew sideboard cards in 2 games. It's just kind of like classic modern matchup, right? We take the Sentinel here, kind of close. But we just have, like, you know, 3-drop with Saga, 3-drop with Combat Thresher. Kind of need a white card for Solitude. This deck seems up my alley. Oh, I've seen this one. I basically never want to play a Reanimator variant without white in the... Oh, are they Calibrated Blast? There's no Karuga, though. I kind of feel like they're Calibrated Blast. So, like, I wonder if I'm supposed to go, like, Combat Thresher into, like, Flicker with Voyager Staff so I can set up for, like, a 4/4 Double Strike Lifelink. Rhinos? Yeah, maybe Rhinos is more likely, huh? Yeah, I'll just attack for 1. With no Karuga. Yeah, so I thought this was kind of interesting. I thought the salvagings didn't really make any sense to me. I thought the lack of Oval Chase Daredevil was really weird in the deck with all these discard outlets and the food package. And again, I'm very, very unlikely to want to play any reanimation variant without white in the mana base. So, because like white just deals with like all the hate so well. So like a white splash for at least prismatic ending in the board is something I think is really important for something like this. Oh, so I get the salvaging. The rebound lets you Gorya's Vengeance or Emrakul. Okay, that is actually pretty cool. That's actually really sick. Definitely looks like a good first draft. I'm a bit worried about Force of Negation on my Ephemerate if they go Violent Outburst here. I think I'm a bit more likely to want to Solitude Ephemerate on their turn, on their upkeep. But then I guess I can have a burn spell, so maybe I'm playing a bit too scared. The Vengeance deck just trophied. I know, I saw that. I'm looking at the trophy tweet. I'm just giving some commentary on it. It's interesting. I didn't realize that salvaging lets you Gorya's Vengeance your Emrakul. That is actually something that I think is really cool. Again, I think it is weird to have no Oval Chase Daredevils in a deck with so much looting and the food package. I think it's weird to have no Urza Saga targets besides just Cookbook. It's maybe not bad to do that, but it's weird. The Griefs also look really weird as just like fair grief, just like fair grief. I'm a combo deck grief you. It might be fine. But it is also weird to me. Spider's definitely a brewer that is pretty comfortable taking these kind of risks though. Alright, so they can't force this. If they have a removal spell, they have a removal spell, not. But I'll be able to just take 4. So they want to wear tears inside. Yeah. This is something I say a lot, but I almost just refuse to play any Reanimator variants in Modern without white in the 75, so you can deal with graveyard hate. So like for wear tears and or prismatic endings. One thing is like Spider probably says he wants to play wear tear. I think it should be prismatic ending because prismatic ending deals with Sanctifier and hurt. It just deals with everything. It doesn't deal with Leyline. You maybe you play both, but like the fact that it deals with Sanctifier is just so relevant. and while also hitting everything else. The list does look really sweet. Like my initial inclination is to like, you know, white splash in the 75 or in the sideboard. And then like cut the griefs so you can play like some number of Ovalchase Daredevils and like a Springleaf Drum and or like, you know, other Urza Saga target, but that might not be necessary. Just like this could also be like a good strategy of just like I'm very linear game one, and then in sideboard games like you could even like you could maybe pseudo transformative sideboard too. There's a lot of like potential here, I think. Yeah, they did have the Force. The Force, of course. But we have the Sentinel. Have we cast Thresher? Yes. Haven't flickered it yet. Alright, so let's see if this Ephemerate feels like resolving. Alright, does feel like resolve. Oh, it doesn't resolve, actually. Actually doesn't resolve. Alright, bring in the Void Mirrors, Feast and Famine, usually something I like against Rhinos, although we maybe have like too many sideboard card syndrome. But it's also true these portable holes are pretty dopey, the needle's pretty dopey, the relic's pretty dopey. You could probably cut like the 4th Thresher and just play 3 Moonlight. I forgot to bring in the Manriki, huh? I'd probably keep this on a mull to 5. You rip the top land, you're pretty happy. Back second Stoneforge. You have 2 looks at a land to just have a really strong hand. On the draw against a Rhino's opponent who kept 7. Don't the Moonlights hurt you with Ephemerate? Only if you mess up. only if you mess up and cast Moonlight and then Ephemerate your thing afterwards. What could we have done to prevent this? We're gonna get Blood Moon with our 1 Eiganjo. That'd be brutal. Just cast the Ephemerate first. Tank, 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 tank. Ice, Blood Moon. This is a 4-color Rhino deck playing Blood Moon. They showed Gemstone Caverns, so they're like a lot. The Rhino players are really interesting because in a lot of ways, Modern is being fought on an axis of Blood Moon versus Leyline Binding, and some Rhino players prefer to play Blood Moon, and some Rhino players prefer to play Leyline Binding, and so like it's kind of interesting. Okay, that was a long turn 2. They decided to pass. They decided to pass. No, wait, Void Mirror does stop Ephemerate Rebound. Also stops Pitch Solitude. Maybe we should be playing more Chalices now that we have all these cards. But like just stopping Force of Vigor is always so nice in these matchups too. I have a lot of basic planes in the deck. I also have this. Brutal. Literally the only white source that's not a basic planes. Literally the only one. It's so funny. Alright, player Saga. Just kidding, although I guess the Saga is kind of useless here. Would I play a hypothetical Modern RCQ tomorrow? I don't know. It's hypothetical. I don't know. I mean, I'm 7-0 with the Iconoclast deck, so at an RCQ, I might just jam that for fun, and then like a GP, maybe Control again, maybe Breach. Game 3. Okay, do I want Answers to Blood Moon. Probably not so much on the play. Maybe I'll play one. Yeah, snap, keep. It's a pretty interesting one. I don't know what I feel like I'm supposed to just get Kaldra. The Stoneforge Mystic, it's just dying. Let's get the Nettlecyst. This kind of implies they don't have Blood Moon in their hand at the moment, although they still could pretty easily have it. If they want to Force a Vigor these two, it's obviously not, you know, the best thing that ever happened to me. But it's not the worst thing either. I think usually I would read a lot into that pause. I would read into that pause at the end step, but my opponent's just also been pausing at like seemingly random times the entire match so far, so I'm gonna try not to let that influence me too much. Is sort of Hearth and Home too cute? I tried Hearth and Home when it first got printed and was generally very underwhelmed by it, but maybe it is better than I remember. Ooh. There is some Force of Vigor insurance. So if they have it, they should cast it now. Yeah, League was triggered last night, 3-2, 40 minutes. Sounds very fun. So I can't Sword of Feast and Famine and equip. So I think we just play the Smith. Then maybe the Hardcast Force of Negation. Team or mana. Prismari command, kill this, kill this. Good Voyager Staff, my Smith. I think I'm okay instead to just cast the Feast and Famine, let this resolve. Then set up to use my mana pretty well next turn. The red-green sword destroys land. Maybe the red-green sword could, like, Cleansing Wildfire. Tank, Shardless Agent, perhaps? Ooh, Hallowed Moonlight. Okay, let's trigger the Smith. So if my opponent has a 2 damage burn spell, they have to use it right now. Equip. Does this enter tapped? Enter? No, it doesn't. Force of Vigor. Okay, so I can't Nettlecyst post combat. Yeah, I'm literally not smart enough to play Flicker Wisp. Like, the thing about the weird phenomenon with Flicker Wisp, the longer you stare at it in your hand, the better it gets. The longer you just sit there and wait for something to happen, the better the card is. And I just like can't figure out how to see it like the Death and Taxes players see it. Just like Iteration. Well, no, with Iteration you just immediately cast it. With Flicker Wisp, you just sit there. You just sit there and stare on it, and it just like literally gets better and better the longer you wait. And I'm not saying like the longer you wait over turns. Like you just pause. You just pause and you chill, and then eventually the Flicker Wisp was good. At the start of your turn, you look at Flicker Wisp, it's terrible, it does nothing, and you just sit there and tank for 2 minutes. Your opponent, while the judge is coming over to rule on your slow play call, that's when the Flicker Wisp magically becomes good. It's like a really weird phenomenon. So I guess I was supposed to wait for the Rhinos to go on the stack, huh? Yeah, the judge comes over and they come to the slow play call and they see, oh, you have a Flicker Wisp in your hand. Okay, never mind. Carry on. Carry on. Alright, we have the Lorian. Not that the Blood Moon isn't really doing too much right now. Oh, Loran, sorry. Sorry, Loran. I'm like, yeah, I guess we could just get the Nettlecyst. I was thinking for a second I just want to get the land and then play another Ingenious Smith, trigger both Smiths, but second Nettlecyst is, it's a lot of pressure. Gets an opponent with 2 cards in their hand. And if it's Force of Vigor green card, it's not even the end of the world, huh? Okay. Ephemerate the Smith in response. Thank you, Beseiju. Would a 3 mana vanilla 8/8 be modern playable? No. Probably not. It'd be like close. It'd be close. It'd be good against Murktide. It'd be like, you know, fine against Murktide. Alright, let's just cast the Cauldron. What? Yes, it would. This is... I always... Okay, no more of this. This is always the worst. Chat's like, Spike, would this hypothetical card be playable or not playable? And I'm like, maybe, I don't know, kind of. And then it just is always like, what? What? I can't believe you said this card that doesn't exist would be playable or not playable. It's just always like, please, chat, please. If there's no way to test it, there's no way to prove who's right or wrong. It's just the worst. It's just... It's just... It might be playable. It would not be that good. It wouldn't be that good if it was. Doesn't matter. God, why do I answer these questions? Right now, this stream is my vacation from endless Pioneer testing, and it honestly feels like my experience with Pioneer has been everybody's experience with Pioneer. It takes a long time to find a deck you like. You're jiving with it. You start to win with it. You feel like, I've got this in the bag. I've got this in the bag. And then all of a sudden you just lose and you spiral and you're desperately playing 8 Pyromancers in your deck and you're looking at Doom Extreme and you're going nuts and you're swapping cards and out and you're hemorrhaging play points and everything is falling apart and the world is on fire. And I feel like that is just the average Pioneer experience. Yeah, Karuga Fires I think is a great example. Like the Leyland Binding deck, it's just like the deck curves out. You're just on top of the world. Nothing can happen. But the deck also loses die rolls and stumbles a lot. It's like, I remember reading my mind. I think this is just the most average, most typical Pioneer experience. I think like literally everybody just like. Nobody knows what's going on in the format. The only thing people know about Pioneer is that decks are bad. You know what I mean? And I don't mean that like the format is bad, but like you can talk to any Pioneer and they'll just about your deck and they'll be like, that deck sucks. Your deck is so bad. Play my pet deck. My pet deck I've been working on. This is the truth. But they just have happened to win like 3 die rolls in a row. They've just happened to have won a few die rolls in a row, so they are currently of the opinion that their deck is nuts. Since when is green card bad? It's bad when you get paired against aggro all day. Yeah, that's the exception. Maybe that part doesn't work for the bit. Don't kill Stoneforge Mystic with the trigger on the stack. Do not kill Stoneforge Mystic with the trigger on the stack. Wait for the trigger to resolve. Do you think a Grixis Pia with Intent and Third Path Iconoclast would be an idea? Maybe you could play Third Path Iconoclast. You could play Young Pyromancer, and there would maybe be something to that. It's close, but like for the most part, you don't want to have to make sure have resolved your 2-drop and then made a token, then be able to cast your intent. You know what I mean? What does Lingering Resolve do? So, like, if the Stoneforge Mystic triggers on the stack, and it dies with the trigger on the stack, I'm just always going to get a Nettlecyst, or, you know, not Kaldra. But if the Stoneforge Mystic lives, I'm gonna get a Kaldra a lot of the time, and then you're gonna kill it, and then the Kaldra is stranded in my hand. I know this is kind of a, you know, a somewhat different spot because the Kaldra is already in my hand, but the Kaldra is not always in the hand. Besage you? No. They hear the Euro teams asking for I did see that, asking for 13 intent and 26 risen reefs. And I'm so over Pioneer. I'm so over it. I have straight up not been having a good time. I have straight up not been having a good time in my testing, so let's get this weekend over with. I didn't prep. Maybe playing the limited LCQ is just like the way to go. Although I haven't done any prep for the limited set. This has to be a troll. That's not a troll. I'm not having a good time. I hope that you are having a really good time. I haven't been. Because the format is bad? I don't know. It's just like Pioneer is just like, I feel like not a very good format to stress over. Pioneer is not a very good format to stress over, where in my playtesting and experience in the format in the past, so much of Pioneer revolves around the die roll. It's like, I've maybe never played a format. That's not true. Modern when Faithless Looting was around and like no zero drops, but like, I've almost never played a format where the die roll mattered more than Pioneer does right now. It's like, it's crazy. Like, there's a few exceptions, but like it just, the die roll matters so much because almost every deck is just like proactive trying to curve out and like, you know, just race your opponent, you know, do their thing faster than your opponent does their thing with like some like big interaction, but just being on the play matters so much and everybody has so many cards. It's just so hard to stress about. It's like fine to play in small doses, but okay. So they're playing Ponza. Yeah, but just like to be like super sweaty, trying to like prep for these LCQs. It's just miserable. I tested a green splash in the mono white Saga deck for Haywire Might. I haven't. It would potentially be pretty good here. I did it in the reds. I splashed green for it in the red deck recently. I would definitely like Haywire Might a lot in the Restoration of Eiganjo version. Morth, give the 2 months. Appreciate you. Yeah, I guess, I haven't played Standard in a while, but I don't know. This is just my experience. I hope this is not the universal experience, but it's also like, at least from what I've been seeing online and talking to my wonderful Twitch chatters, it does not really feel like my experience is too far from the norm, unfortunately. Do you think Keyban? I'm done thinking about how to change Pioneer too. Like this is also the thing. It's like Pioneer has gone through so many changes, and it's been such different things at different times. Like Pioneer, I loved Pioneer back before Theros Beyond Death came out. Pioneer was a format full of interesting metagame with like that was changing every week, and the format felt very similar to Standard. It was like, like very classic archetypes represented with like lots of room for innovation. Then Theros Beyond Death got printed. And then the format was just 4 Theros Beyond Death decks: Inverter, Lotus Breach, Heliod, and Uro decks. And then so like you have like an interesting format to like pretty not that interesting format just kind of immediately. And we take this for a white card / low curve when I kind of have a lot of high curve and low lands here. And then they took way too long to ban Inverter and Underworld Breach. And Heliod. Or Ballista rather, way too long. And Uro. And the format became less interesting more because they took way too long to ban these cards, and then they had to ban Winota, and it took too long to ban Winota. It's just like, but my issue is like I no longer like really have an idea of what I would like Pioneer to even be. You know what I mean? I just don't know. I just don't know what I'm like supposed to say Pioneer needs to be anymore. It's just been so many different things, and like banning Karn or banning Nykthos is not going to change that. Unbanning things is not really going to change that. I just don't know. Like really like Pioneer, like one huge issue in Pioneer is there's like lots of like good, cheap, efficient creatures, and removal spells are not that good in the format. I think that's a big issue with the format, but how to solve that is also like pretty complicated. Frappuccino, thank you for the tier 1. It's just fair magic now. I don't know if I would call Pioneer. I mean, I feel like so much of Pioneer is like super linear decks. I don't know. I know a lot of other people have like very strong opinions on like what needs to change in Pioneer, and I am currently done having opinions on it just because it just feels so weird. And like there's just not like a general consensus as to like what the format should be or the direction it should go. But I still have hopes for it. Like I want it to be a good and popular format. I think it has potential. I do think it has potential. Alright, try to get the culture down to deal with the Rin and 6. Would a vanilla 9/9 for 3 be playable? Honestly, a 9/9 is so much better than a 9/9 is so much better than a 8/8 in this conversation because it like it beats Murktide in combat. like I think a 3-mana 8/8 would be very close and like probably like a little underwhelming, and a 3-mana 8/8 a little close, underwhelming. A 3-mana 9/9 like actually a card that you would like be relatively happy to play, but it's still like terrible against Teferi Time Raveler specifically. Four mana 10/10. I think so. Luis Scott Vargas like very famously talked about how like a 4-mana 20/20 would not be playable in a format like Modern. I think it would be playable, but you would like be trying to like set up for like on turn 5, 20/20 plus fleeing. You'd be trying to do like unfair things with it. I don't think you'd play it in the top end of like a beatdown deck. But I do also I've always felt like that point was like hyperbolic, if that, you know what I mean. Just gonna so draw land, hardcast Solitude. I've already made this decision before I make it. There's also people who think a one mana vanilla 3/3 is not playable in Modern, and it's like it would definitely not be a format defining card, but it would be somewhat fringe playable. While Nikado is seeing some play right now, and like a vanilla 1 mana 3/3 is a lot better than Nikado because it blocks Ragavan on turn 1 and doesn't require any setup. Maybe I wasn't supposed to block there. I think the block's fine. Like I kind of like managing the loyalty some, but maybe being able to attack the Ren is better. Another pretty interesting decision here is to Nettlecyst. If I Nettlecyst, I can just hardcast Kaldra next turn. But I can also hardcast Kaldra off of Treasure Vault. But also this Nettlecyst is going to get Besaged at some point. I think just holding up the Solitude is fine. One Colas 2/2. If a 1 mana 2/2 artifact is playable, there is that already, but it costs a snow mana, and the snow mana is not something you want in artifact decks too often. But I do think like in Affinity specifically, you'd be interested in a 1 mana 2/2, no downside. That's an artifact. Fair enough. This is like such a heads up play. I love it. Yeah, nothing is playable. This is also like whenever you talk about something that's playable, it's like there's like a big difference between like a Wrenn and 6 and a Solitude and a Ragavan, like these format defining cards, and like fringe archetype role players like a 1-mana 3/3 would be. They're just like, you know, one of them is the superstar, one of them is just barely on the team. Okay, why don't besage you my treasure token. Oh, they thought I was out of basics. I have a lot of basics. And now they don't have the Besage in their hand. Maybe they have another one. Okay. Now's the Besage again. Yeah, we can hardcast Thresher when we draw one. That'd be fun. Alright, let's try to kill this Wrenn. I would say that my opponent is always going to get to Besage this Nettlecyst, so I just want to play it, but with my opponent's seeming willingness to Besage you a treasure token, they might just like fire it off out of frustration end of turn, and I don't think that, you know, playing this, it really accomplishes very much besides thinning the deck. Man, they don't even deal the damage. I want to just like slam the equip here. Like literally, how does Gruul ever beat this? We 5-0'd to the third path deck today. Oh yeah, we could have hit them with assist too. I don't know. I mean, the lifelink is just like once this is on the Solitude, they just can't win. You know what I mean? Like once the Solitude is indestructible, the game is just over. They can never race it. They can never race it, and the game is just going to end. Oh, Haywire Might. That is something. I don't know if they have that in their deck, but I guess that is now the case. Oh, baby, a Thresher. Do I have enough mana to... They might Besage you the Saga in response to the trigger. They probably shouldn't, but... Yeah, I do have enough to hardcast the Thresher with Ephemerate up. Steal and sack. I kind of feel like my opponent is not doing those things. I think I kill the Wrenn because they get another Besage you if I don't. Should be fine either way. Ooh, baby. This feels pretty good. Prodigy, 22 months, thank you. Yeah, if you flicker a prototype, it's so like a big part of the reason why you're playing this card is you play it as a 1/1 flicker it, draw a card, and then it's a 3/3 double strike. Am I not in kill range of 2 Valakids? I mean, my opponents, they're not playing Scape Shift, they're playing Ponza, I think. Maybe I grossly misread the room. Would not be the first time. Well, let's like, you know, do the flashy win, I guess. 8/8 double strike trample. First strike, haste, indestructible trample. Oh wait, no look. It no longer screams. Oh, it's not white anymore, huh? It's not white anymore. When you cast a prototype creature, it's like, this creature is white. This creature is white, like you're taking a census, or filling out a census. Alright, let's get a 4-1 prediction. White has card draw now, dude. White is the best color. Red is still the best color, but it's crazy. It's crazy. It's just like Wizards really just got bullied into printing nonstop good white cards for like years now. They really just got bullied into printing bangers after bangers, just trying not to get yelled at on Twitter. And I just wish that, like, as a blue player, I wish we had the same fervor. If we could just like post bad blue cards and say, I can't believe Wizards would print this card. White and red are too good. To be fair, white was real bad. It was maybe bad in EDH. It was. I will agree that it was maybe bad in EDH. But I always felt like it was a bit overblown. Maybe I have not as much sympathy for the EDH players. Philmatic, 17 months. Thank you. Yeah, blame Command Zone, huh? If Sanctuary was unbanned, would blue be the best color again? Aspiring Spike would be the best streamer again. For Mystic Sanctuary to be unbanned. Natty 2 Triumphs? We could be playing against Lotus Field. That'd be pretty interesting. Pretty sure I'm supposed to play, just make a Saga token, although I want to Thresher Ephemerate. Wasn't white basically on these for Path to Exile for a long time? No. I don't think that that's true. At the very least, like I don't know what it is about modern players. I don't know what it is about modern players that so many of us are just like literally stuck in 2014. Like, so many of us are just hard stuck in the Splinter Twin era. Splinter Twin Path to Exile era. It's just like modern hasn't been about that for so long. Maybe at one point it was. I just like can we ever escape from this hell of just being 2014 era? We're also old. I guess so. I just don't understand, you know. It's like so many players still think of modern and they're like they just think of 2014. They, you know, it was honestly like a great era. I really enjoyed it too. I'm from that era too. I'm one of you. Yeah, it only says it once. I don't know if there's a different preview. 2014 is when I last played. Fair enough. Can't argue with that. Mono white was never bad in EDH. People were just afraid of stacks. Yeah, maybe that's true. That sounds true. Like, people just don't want to be the stacks player. But, like, that's, like, what white does well. Okay. It's kind of funny if that is the case. Sounds like it would be true. Portable hold pretty dead in this matchup. Grab Kaldra, and I guess I'm casting Shadowspear too. Okay, go Kaldra, go. Attack for 5. I'm gonna Needle to Fairy Time Raveler, I guess. Odawara? Ooh, Charm. Okay, that's fine. It's actually kind of nice that the portable hole gets to do something this game. Tutors, 8 months? Are you just talking about you? How you figured out it says blue twice? Thank you for the good luck. Are you going to Atlanta, Tutors? I envy you if you're not. I may be a bit dramatic, but I don't know why. I'm just like ready for a bad time. I'm a scrub too. I'm just like YOLOing the LCQs and so nervous about it. Should name him Polluted Delta. I think the big issue is it's easier to make non-white work on a budget. All the good white ramp cards are EDH is like land tax, scroll rack compared to Nature's Lore. I thought Nature's Lore was expensive. Or is it's the other Nature's Lore? Sure. Listen, I don't doubt that white needed a bit of a buff. I just like to tease wizards for being bullied into just like, you know, printing nonstop good white cards. Oh no, I usually have instep stop set. I don't know why I didn't. Fuck. Alright. That was horrible. Want to meet First in Legacy? No. I don't know. I have a lot of people be like, Spike, you want to meet up? You want to meet up? And I'm going there with friends. There's good people I hang out with. I'm fine. Thank you. No. Yeah, rolling works, huh? It's pretty good against my hand, huh? Might be packing it up soon. 7 cards in their hand. Deluge in the yard. I guess I should have ephemerated my Stoneforge Mystic to get my last Nettlecyst, actually. I'm mostly joking. I know. It's just fine. I don't know. I wish I could play Legacy with all the spikelings, you know, but I wish I could play Legacy with all the spikelings all the time. But there's only so many hours in a weekend. And only so many aspiring spikes. I have a really hard time imagining winning this game, mostly because of that Deluge in the yard, but also because of the 6 cards in my opponent's hand. And the fact that none of the cards in my hand do anything. Alright, that's good enough for me. Exile here, block here, I have nothing going on. Good old sanity concession. I'm gonna cut the Shadowspear, gonna bring in the extra needle. I can bring it, they have a Deluge, I don't mind playing like 1 relic. Not amazing, but not the worst either. I've been really liking just having access to like the Reclamation Sage is so nice. I don't want to play 3 Solitudes, the 4 Solitudes. I can play like 2. And I can play Crowbar, Relic number 2. Not that Relic number 2 is very good, but probably better than what else we have. Did any of the Urza variants become better with bro cards? The card Urza hasn't like really shown up in too many of my brews yet, but it's hard to imagine a set full of artifacts made any Urza deck worse. Although that's actually not true because people are playing more artifact hate now. Maybe it did. Yeah, a friend of mine gave me the Citizen's Crowbar tech. So it was like it was like in the same like this guy always does this. He'll like have like a really cool techie card for me, but he'll also say like the most deranged like he told me that he will very regularly cut 2 copies of Colossus Hammer in his hammer deck because people are ready to kill it post board or something. I can't remember what the justification was. But he like regularly trims 2 copies of Colossus Hammer, and he told me that after he had the second hammer in his freaking hand to kill me. By the way, I left that detail out, but he had both hammers in his hand, and I was only dead to 2 hammers, and he only had 2 hammers in the deck. I was fuming, just fuming. But then he's also like Citizen's Crowbar is the truth, and like Crowbar is actually great. I actually really like the Crowbar, so. I guess we're even. Yes, Salty, but come on, can you blame me? Can you when you're dead, when you're like, I can't remember the exact details, but when you're only dead to the second hammer, your opponent crushes you and then like shows their sideboard plan and shows you that they boarded out 2 hammers. Ah, I was losing it. And this is why I don't finish RCQs. Oh man. Gonna bounce the Citadel again. Maybe I should play the castle because of this. Same situation as last time. Magic is a silly game for silly people.
I'm going to appointment.
Okay.
Bye.
Um,
What?
is it worth playing Hall of Heliod Junior just versus Saga? I think I would play more artifact lands before I played Hall in this deck. You could play it in the Restoration deck. I mean, I just don't, yeah. Don't like that card. I could Ephemerate just to cycle. I think I've got plenty of stuff to do with my mana, so we'll just wait. How's Loran? Loran's been awesome. Just like having access to a mono white Reclamation Sage. We did actually activate the tap ability. This is like mostly flavor text in this deck, I think, but it's always really interesting to me when, like, for years and years, my heart has longed for a mono white Reclamation Sage, and we finally get one, and it's like better than a Reclamation Sage. It, you know, has like, it has Vigilance and it has this ability. I mean, it's also legendary, but it's a Human Artificer, two super relevant types. Just odd, you know. So can't save that with Ephemerate because of the Teferi. Oh yeah, it does seem great with. Oh, this is okay. This is 100% legendary because of Karakas, right? Oh no, because it's Sax. No, ETB. Sorry, I don't know why. Yeah, it's 100% legendary because of Karakas. Cool. Someone at Wizards is a Death and Tax player, huh? I think I'm just gonna attack with the Germ token and then like Flash and Solitude into turn. I don't want to play the Stoneforge into the counterspell. When is Artificer relevant? In the Pyre of Heroes deck, of course. Deck for Beef Luke. If you post a link in chat, I can take a Beef Look. And I can also just like re-equip here. This feels like a bit of a spew on their part. So I'm gonna get the Kaldra, equip here, and then love to have Nettlecyst on Kaldra, or sorry, on Sentinel, and then I have the Ephemerate up on the Stoneforge Mystic too. Oh, Spear, yeah, and then with Spear, yeah, this is like definitely, it is definitely legendary with this ability because of Karakas and Spirit of the Labyrinth. You're absolutely right. So, you're absolutely right. This is Spirit of the Labyrinth, Karakas, Legacy Death and Taxes player, infiltrated Wizards, printed this card, and quit. But who was it? Who was it? Yeah, it's also tutorable with Recruiter of the Guard. Okay, so Sultai food combo. Okay, so I see this a lot. Like, this is, you know, just the stock Dimir food main deck, which I'm like still really happy with the stock Dimir food main deck, but splashing for green instead of white for Nature's Claim and Run Afoul on the sideboard. But like it's okay, never mind. Haywire Might. I forgot about Haywire Might. I now understand. I'm on board actually. I'm on board to splash green instead of white for the Might. 4 Might is probably is maybe too many. Is maybe 4 is fine, but if you're gonna play 4 Haywire Mights, you probably shouldn't also have a Nature's Claim. I actually really like Unmoored Ego. I might play the 3rd, but I'd probably be like -1 claim, +1 ego, or +1 Run Afoul, depending on how popular Murktide is. It actually looks great. I'm gonna click download. Love it. Enjoy. I'll play that on stream later, probably. Diluted Fruitcake, 8 months, thank you. Needle the Might. Honestly, like, if your opponent's needling Might, they're not needling your cookbook, and like you're probably happy with that. If they have 2 needles, good beads, I don't think like having 1 Nature's Claim is like that important for that. Yeah, I love it, Luke. Might is so good with Emery, good with Unearth, just like tutorable with Saga. A good deck tech, huh? Play 1 more ego. Never seen that. I don't know. This happens probably like, you know, once a week, once every 2 weeks. They're like, great deck tech. Beautiful. No notes. Or a few notes. Pay them $15, yeah. Ha 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 ha. Alright, Solitude. Pitching Binding. Sell the Kaldra token. Just dealing less damage than this, but maybe they're trying to set up for a Supreme Verdict. I find my Combat Thresher, so I guess let's prototype. Hold up the Ephemerate. Ephemerate end of turn, maybe. Think Loran is a good card? Yeah, Loran's great. Like, okay, we keep talking about how, like, this card has so many legacy implications with Karakas and Spirit of the Labyrinth, but again, like, this is the first mono-white Reclamation Sage. Every single other variant of this card, every single other variant of this card, right now. Every single other variant of this card is only able to get artifacts or enchantments in white. And there's not a 3-mana creature that kills both artifacts and enchantments in mono white until Loran. And so, like, that by itself makes it a consideration. It's also a human artificer with vigilance and this weird, like, card draw ability. And I think for cards like Loran, people, like, look at the ability that's interesting. You and target opponent each draw a card. They look at that ability, right? They're like, oh, this is what this card is about. You and target opponent each draw a card. That ability sucks. This card sucks. But this card is not played for the interesting ability. It's played for the boring ability, which is the Rex Sage. But, like, in some situations, you'll want to tap this. And the vigilance is somewhat relevant, especially in a deck with equipment. Yeah. We had a Dono deck that was, or it was Spike build around Counterbalance, but that ended up translating into a PTQ win. It's awesome. The Nature's Combat Board is supposed to be a Needle. Oh yeah, just play Needle instead. That'd be fine. I would be somewhat interested in playing, like, maybe you play third Ego over the third Flusterstorm. Okay, we're definitely needling Celestial Colony. Just kidding. It's very. What was the counterbalance deck at old deck? Yeah, so this was back when Mystic Sanctuary was legal. And when Mystic Sanctuary was legal, counterbalance was actually sick. I'm gonna play this so I can go this plus Ephemerate next turn. Counterbalance was actually just really, really good with Mystic Sanctuary, where your opponent would put a spell in the stack, you'd have your counterbalance trigger, and then you would crack your fetch for Mystic Sanctuary, and then put a spell on top of your library that had a mana value equal to the spell that was on the stack. And we played a lot of that deck on stream, and I won a PTQ with it live on stream. It was awesome. It was like perhaps my favorite stream ever. Yeah, Counterbalance is modern legal, yeah. That was probably my favorite stream of all time. It was so fun. Like, winning a PTQ live on stream with a brew is just like... And that was also... I think that was also back... That may have been when Companions worked under the old rules, too. I think it was. I think we played Kihira. Yeah, we played Kihira. It was back out in the old Companion rules, and like half of the chat was always like, "Is Kihira worth the 15th sideboard card?" Although to be fair, you couldn't pitch Kihira to Solitude back then. It was also Luris deck. No, not the no. We tried a Luris version of that deck, but like in a deck that's playing like 4 Terminuses, and like really wants to play Jace the Mind Sculptor, Luris wasn't very good. But we tried like Luris Bauble versions. And the deck was actually like really good against the Luris decks because like Counterbalance was like just so randomly good against Luris decks because the curves were so low. The curves were really low, and you would just like wait on the Treasure Vault for Smith Trigger. The curves were really low, so you would just like play Counterbalance and it would randomly counter like half the spells they played. It was awesome. Okay, this is really good for resolves because it gets rid of the Deluge. Pop the Relic. Actually, huge top deck. Okay, save this for a Leyline Binding or something. That is true. Loran can go in deserted decks. That is kind of funny. Yeah, like, I don't know. This is so obviously Death and Taxes fan infiltrates Wizards and just like... It's not even... The card's like not even like good, but... Or like it's good, but it's not like... This is exactly the kind of card a secret Death and Taxes infiltrator would design. Just like, there's so many small things. It works with Zerda, good with Caracas, good with Caracas Vial, good with Spirit of the Labyrinth, Human Artificer, Vigilance for Equipment. It's just like, just exactly the card a Death and Taxes infiltrator would play. Might cash this in for a Black Lotus. And we're getting the Death and Taxes experience here. Plains. 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 Yeah, okay, get tutorable with Recruiter. It's just all a little too suspicious. Please resolve. Please resolve. No. Okay, I think I'll play the Loran. Could target this if I had to target something. We are going to wait. Hold on. Did I pass? Yeah, the image 2 elementals are destroying modern. I need to equip. I think I passed priority, but I can do it second main. Do you think lay down arms would be? You're playing too many non-planes for lay down arms to be good in this deck. But I did play a Heliod deck recently that played only planes as lands, so I'm considering it for that deck. The equip is just 2. Moto was really laggy for me yesterday, but it was only really laggy for me when I was playing the Trash for Treasure deck and I had infinity really complicated permanents in play at the same time. It was like, it was fine after that. My opponent's hand is 4 to Fairy Time Ravelers. No, please. Oh, the classic Celestial Colonnade buffed by Kihira. Truly a staple. Too bad I cut my Shadowspear. Let's draw a card. Not the worst card I've ever drawn. They counterspell the Ephemerate. Oh, they counterspell the Smith. Okay. Okay. Haywire might being an insect might mean Sultasma wants to play a Grist. That's like it's just way too deep. It's like if you're a deck that already wants to play Grist and you're a deck that wants to play Haywire Might, then it's a cute synergy that you forget in paper every single time. It's like a cute fun synergy that like literally every single time you mill your Might with Grist, you forget that it works that way. But on Magic Online, it'll be a fun thing. It'll be a fun thing that happens. But if it's a fun synergy if you just incidentally want to play both those cards. Like maybe Yawgmoth plays like 1 Might as a 2 to target. All right, 3/2, not too bad. Not too bad. Very fun to have 5-0'd with the Iconoclast deck earlier. This deck was sick. We'll definitely be playing more of this list when we come back. Probably some other mono white variants too.